a self-identification through clothing. Alright, this was a message that Obaridi kept preaching a few months after he returned from the thank you visitation. So one of these days, Dr. Ekhaguosa went to see the monarch, and he was trying to, doing as a medical doctor, he was trying to examine and all of that. So in course of that, he and one of the princes of Obaridi's son were sitting in one of the inner chambers of Obaridi, where Obaridi also spoke about these unfavorable trends, something that is hurtful, something that is painful to him, that there is nothing that people can easily identify the Edo people with. Alright? Then he was just saying it, not like he gave it as an assignment to Dr. Ekhaguosa. So, but Dr. Ekhaguosa could see the pain in Obaridi's heart of trying to solve that problem of the Benin people, of having an identification that they can call their own, something, a clothes that an Edo man will wear, that he or she can be easily recognized that, okay, it's an Edo man. Just like when a Yoruba person wears agbada or boba and shokoto and all of that, you just or bend a scarf for one, all of that, you just know that these are Yoruba people. When an Orobo person wears their rounded hats and all of that, their walking stick, this is an Orobo person. The Benins were not having that kind of clothing until in the 80s. Alright, this was how the old clothing came about. So Dr. Ekhaguosa went home, alright, understanding that this was a national issue of the Edo people and that needed to be resolved. But in his mind, he knows how unreceptive the Edo people are to sort of new ideas. He knew that whatever that he must have to think through, he has to think it through in a way that it is already the practice of the Edo people. Otherwise, if it is too foreign, or if it's absolutely foreign, the Edo people will not accept his idea of what he was going to propose. So, according to the narration that he gave to me in 2017, 2018, he told me the story for more than 10 times. Okay, so he kept thinking about it. He kept thinking about it. He kept thinking about it. He kept thinking about it for weeks. Then one day he went to Uselu to take care of the Queen Mother, Queen Arawa. Then she now saw the beautiful, according to him, it is the most beautiful, flamboyant, most revealing evil body mark that he has ever seen in his entire life on the body of the Queen Mother. Then he said to himself, this might be the answer to the puzzle of Obaridi. Then he went home. He started to ask questions. What is the Iwu? Then he realized that the Iwu body mark is a tattoo that was invented about 300 to 350 years ago, most probably during the reign of Obaehenguda. The mark became a mark of identification of the Edo people. Whoever put on that mark is considered a freeborn son of Edo land. Foreigners, slaves, servants were not allowed to wear or sew the evil body marking on their body. So it was the self-identification of the Edo man 300 to 350 years earlier to when this story happened in 1981/1982 precisely. All right. Then he said to himself, but most people now couldn't wear the evil body mark. If the people cannot wear the evil body mark because it's a tattoo, you have to employ the services of a tribal medical personality called the Osibu. They were armed with the skill of sewing or drawing this tattoo on the bodies of the Edo people. It was their profession, and they were very, very, very good at that. All right, they were very good at that. It was their profession, and until you have that evil body mark, you are not regarded as Okwoba. Until you have that evil body mark, you are not regarded as Okwoba. So it is a criteria that every Edo man must have for them to be recognized as a full adult. It was the mark of self-identification. Anybody who sees that mark recognizes that they are Edo people and they should be untouched because I show Edo. So he thought to himself, okay, now this idea is not foreign, but it is almost getting to a time where people now wear clothes. All right, if we now say that people should keep or do more publicity that people should have that evil on their body, they will not, with the modernization of times, people now wearing clothes and all of that, the clothes is definitely going to cover the evil body man. Then he thought to himself, he said, okay, why can't we replicate what was in the old they used to sew on the bodies of the Edo men and Edo women? Why can't we sew those things on our modern clothes and thereby giving it an Edo cultural ideology? So that was when he employed the services of a lawyer. He went to interview quite knowledgeable Osibo people, who the travel medical professionals who were skilled in the evil body marking. All right, he interviewed a couple of them. That's when they now begin to tell him the different types of the evil, the patterns of it, the exceptions to it, the historical background of how it came about. Okay, on how it came about. So he had all of those knowledge. He employed the services of the tailor. Then he gives the descriptions, the drawing to the tailor. The tailor makes several attempts to put it on the body clothes until he was able to get a perfect match to what he was duly described, how the evil body mark really looks like. At that time of history, there were still a lot of Edo men and women who still had the evil body marking on. So it wasn't far-fetched. So he had resources, he had materials. All right. So eventually, after he was able to get the perfect description, the perfect clothing, the tailor was able to replicate it the way it used to be, or the way it ought to be. He won that cloth, and at that time of history, Agbada Ayoredo, me and I'm Agbada Then that very day, he went to the palace, and Obaridi of blessed memory was in company with other guests, and after they were done, he called him Adekita. Adekita is a doctor. Adekita, wearing and all of that. After greetings and all of that, he now said, he knelt down and said, Omo Atokbe, continuing Shuniti Uni Mawe. And Omo said, okay, you should go ahead and show him. So he removed his agbada and showed Omo both the front and the back of that clothing, of his discovery, of his invention. And he said, I can remember, he never forgets that whenever he tells me the story. He said, Omo actually mentioned 3 statements or 3 sentences. Isn't that what you guys call it? 3 statements. The only thing that Omo mentioned was, I like it. He said, I will never forget. He said, that's what Omo Radio said, I like it. Then he now said, okay, when my Ali Hanaya, Nitota and all of that, he showed all of them and they all loved it. Alright, that was when it now dawned on Omo Radio that now that we now have a cloth that is not generally accepted by the king himself and his chancelleries, his cabinet members, then it is now we have to do a very big program to announce it to the very Edo people, all of the Edo people all over the world, so that to make it official that the Edo people will know, or the Edo people will come to know that these will now officially from that moment become their clothing. So the planning committee was formed, the program was slated, was supposed to be slated as fast as possible, but he had to plead with Omo that Omo should give him time, that most of the Edo people that are now coming, or the generations that will be born in the future, might not really know the story behind the Iwu, that it is only very good that he should be given the opportunity to write a manual for the Edo people to have something to read about, so that they can know what the Iwu is all about, so that they can know the history of what led to the creation of Iwu body marking 350 years earlier. So he started to document and wrote a book, and that was his first published book. The title is called Iwu, the body markings of the Edo people. This was his very first book that he published. However, this is the second edition. The very first edition was officially published November 15, 1986, and that was also the day the book, the Benin clothing, was officially launched.